Okay, how did we get to the current electoral college voting allocations that we have right now in Nebraska? With the winner take all topic floating around, making national news, let's do a little history lesson and see how we got here. So, in a timeline, when Nebraska was founded, we had always been a winner take all. In 1991, then Senator Diane Shimmick sponsored LB 115. This bill only passed with 25 votes and 23 senators voting against it, which she barely got that passed. It was then signed into law by then Governor Ben Nelson. Remember Ben Nelson? I know what I think of when I hear Ben Nelson. You know, the same Ben Nelson that will go down in history as being the last bought and vote to get Obamacare passed. Yeah, that Ben Nelson. So he made that into law. That is how we got the Electoral College splitting these votes for Nebraska. And when we talk about these votes, these you get one for each district in Omaha, the Lincoln, and the West, and then two at large. It's also worth noting for Diana Shimmick, she served as the Democratic National Committee woman as well. Then we have in 1995 and 1997, LB 65 and LB 103 were passed, which would have restored winner take all. This came up because they figured out, the legislature realized that they had made a bad move with letting this bill pass. They would have restored winner take all. Both of these were vetoed by Ben Nelson, Governor Ben Nelson. The legislature fell short trying to override the veto again by one vote. So then we come to 2015 and 2016. LB 10 is introduced by Senator McCoy. It was introduced in 2015 and then made it to final reading in 2016 because we have the two separate sessions, so it carried over. Again, the cloture vote failed by one vote. Interesting that it's always just one vote. Senator McCoy's testimony, though, from the committee hearing was spot on, and he is on record saying, the district plan discourages candidates from addressing issues that appeal to the state as a whole by rewarding candidates who visit congressional districts with higher population and income levels to the exclusion of rural Nebraska. He goes on to say that he did not have an issue with the district plan if all the states used it. He goes on to say that if it were used in states like California, a lot of elections would be greatly different than what they traditionally are. But that's not what 48 other states in America have chosen to do. Nebraska and Maine happen to be the only ones that split their votes. This brings us to the 108th legislature. So during the first session of the 108th legislature, Senator Lippincott introduced a bill to fix the winner take all, and it didn't even get voted out of the government committee. Interesting. Then in April, just this past April, Senator Slama introduced an amendment to LB 1300. It was ruled as not being germane to the bill. So people have been trying to get this winner take all. This has gone on since 1991. So here we are. Winner take all is still being discussed and getting national attention. We have a governor willing to call a special session if he has 33 confirmed votes. So it's important to know history and where this came from. So we clearly know how this was set up was from a Democratic governor and a Democratic National Committee woman who was then serving as a senator for Nebraska.